add a lot more data into the calculation, a lot more data sets. So each data set has minimal impact on the outcome. So if you're off on something, it doesn't change it a whole lot. Second, add more accurate and timely data into it. And that comes from the MLS, which is not available on Zillow and other entities who calculate this. So, arguably, if we do those things, logic dictates that it will become a lot more reliable. Will it be 100%? Will it be absolutely everywhere? Nope. But banks don't care about that. They're looking at this as an approximate number that they could use to value their portfolio. Is something that they want to do. If it's substantially more reliable than anything else available out there, they're very compelled to purchase it from us. And thus the business model. As we grow this and roll it in, we're proposing to sell this number, not the data, no access to the system, simply exactly what they do today, which is send a portfolio, list of their portfolio, and match it with the approximate value, calculated value, and send it back, period. That's kind of the business model that's going to fund this on an ongoing basis. There's many numbers that are thrown out there. I'm not even going to go there. All I can say, even if we capture minimal market share of this, I think we can fund this project on an ongoing basis, which we're not looking at making revenues and exuberant profits from this. The idea is to self-fund this, so there's no increases in member dues, there's no charges for reports and things that I'll show you later. It's purely at no additional cost to you. That's the idea. I'll take questions at the end about this. I'll let you think about it a little bit, and then we can take questions at the end a little bit. All right, I'll continue on. Photos come to us from the MLS, in this case, the description. Here's a quick example of how having two of the public records and the MLS data side by side in one view could be valuable to you. I know earlier yesterday's session, I think there was a broker in the audience or an agent in the audience said, well, some brokers in my marketplace, they don't put everything in the MLS system about a listing. Happens. And somebody else said, well, the public records is never complete. Correct. Because some people may not be compelled to report in addition to their house to the recorder's office. I don't think they're incented to do that, right? Therefore, it won't be in the public record. But the idea is if you have both side by side, like we have here, a little bit from there, a little bit from here, the picture is just more complete for you. So you can arrive at conclusions as a practitioner. Again, you'll get the estimated value report here that you can turn on or off any of these data sets. And you can interact with these charts, graphs, and analytics. You could go ahead and also see the deed recording here too, the mortgage information. I know some brokers talked to us said in some states, certainly not Texas, there are some homeowners that they don't share all of the mortgages and loans that they have on their house. Not Texas, other states, other people just do that. So having this at your fingertip right here is important information for you. What is the mortgage balance? How many loans are there on this house and things like that. All right. Next, let's switch to the history tab. Here's where it gets interesting. As I mentioned earlier, at some point in my career, there was a very aggressive recruiting broker in Philadelphia area where I'm from, who recruited me as a real estate agent and said, you will be a millionaire in no time, Ohan. I know you, you're a smart guy, you work for Realtor.com, this is easy for you. I believed her. We're still friends. We still talk every now and then, but reality is it was an eye-opener to me when I started. I'm a geek at heart, although I don't have any technical training. I love technology. It's a passion for me. So you can imagine when I started looking at our MLS system, the public records. I'm looking at all these different tools available for me. They're all fragmented all over the place, and put it all together so I can create a report or something for my sellers, for my buyers. Because that's how maybe I'm too analytical, or I was working with analytical buyers. I don't know. So my broker walks by. She says, "Where do you get that from? How do you do that?" I said, "Well, it's not easy. I look everywhere. 4 or 5 found different places, and but I put it together. And he's like, why are you putting that together? I said, well, I have an engineer, buyer that I'm working with, and the way their mind works, they want to see every detail and analysis. And I said, I want to appeal to him and make sure we get this done. Wow, you will be a millionaire. I said, when I have time to sell, I will. Instead of doing this. Which, when I first saw this, I know there was a lot of kind of build up to this, wasn't it? Here's the punchline. By clicking on the History tab, you will see absolutely all historical events that occurred on a property for the last 10 years. So if I had this, I would just click and get this report and not waste a day trying to put all that together for my analytical buyer. So here's an example of it. You see when there was financing activity. You can see the estimated RVM. You can see the listing activity, listed, sold, all of those things right in one big view. Do you think there's a problem here? Finance is here, this is the loan amount, and this is the estimated value. You see the problem point right here in 2007? What an accurate depiction in the Bay Area marketplace, right? So imagine having this and you're viewing this. Now as a practitioner, as a professional, that definitely places you or reinforces your position as the market expert, local market expert, which is the core of this project. We started by saying INAR is investing this to make it a member benefit to you. We all know, we mentioned Zillow and other places, there's a lot out there that's the public has access to, and which created a discrepancy between what consumers are looking at or expecting to have and what's available to you. The idea of RPR is to bring equilibrium back to that discrepancy and give you those data sets, the cool tools, the charts, graphs, and analytics that now you have access to that you can reposition yourself or position yourself in your marketplace. Okay? So if you don't like charts, you could just look at it textually, all of this stuff, and interact with it. But if you're like me, forget it. The chart is it, right? All right, this is actually the listing agent here. You can befriend that agent should you choose to on Facebook and see where they had dinner last night or something like that. Not that funny? Is that what most people use it for?
Can I ask a question? Were those comments that appear to be feedback from showings?
Yeah, I will discuss that too. There's some definition on that, but thank you. In fact, I'll do that now because you seem to be a nice lady and I will be accommodating. I think Texas kindness is rubbing on me, becoming good. All right, here's the idea of this. The idea is this. A lot of other industries now, the hottest thing is the use of social media for business applications. How can we apply the concept and use in business application? And it's really collaboration is the bottom line. How can I know what you think, what somebody else is thinking? We're all in the same profession and collaborate on it. That's the concept. So we created 2 ways of using annotation on properties. These are concepts. There's a lot of definition that needs to go around it. When you come to this property and you view it, say you want to make a little note about it. So whenever you come back to this property, 5 years from now, whenever, you're going to keep this data forever, by the way. That's the concept. Where you saw the history 10 years, it's going to expand to have a lot more over time. And you can select what time period you want to view. Anyway, that comment will always be there attached to that subject. And you can always come back and review that. The other use is the collaborative use, where you could make it public, and by public we mean share it with your peers, not public consumers, what you may know about that property. You say, I happen to have visited that property and I know that the kitchen has upgraded granite, or something like that. Any annotation